Hola mi gente, this is another episode of Raw and Real with me. Today we are going to dive into triggers and the first coping mechanism that I use, which is mindfulness. But before that, let's just kind of recap last week's video. It's been a week. I spoke about my story, my experience, my goal, kind of what this channel is about, what I'm trying to do. Again, if you have any suggestions, questions, comments, concerns, let me know. I'm open to it all. But be nice, because being nice is good. Quarantine has not been fun since everyone is usually at home every day, all day, unless they go outside for a walk or to the grocery store. I have been working out with my friends, social distancing, going to the pool, just trying to keep myself busy and occupied because being at home is not very fun, especially when you're anxious, because being anxious, you're supposed to get your mind off of stuff. And being at home is kind of hard because your options are very limited. Although, yes, you can do lots of things, but it's just not the same. My main thing is I want to go to the gym. I miss the gym so much. I miss being able to work out, lift heavy. But I gotta wait. Just gotta go with the flow of what they're telling me, which is not what I like to hear, that I'm gonna be stuck at home. But it is what it is. So, anyways, let's get into it. What is a trigger? A trigger is a trauma reminder. And remember that anxiety has to do with over emotion. The reason that you are getting anxious and worked up is because you are either thinking about something in the past or in the future, or you are ruminating on a thought, basically digging yourself a deeper hole about something you cannot control. You really do not know the outcome of it. That's what it is. So it can be a feeling, it can be a smell, a place, it can be a topic, or anything that engages our nervous system and causes a survival response. Because when you get stressed and anxious, you are activating the fight or flight mode in your body. Fight or flight is that, alarm that goes off in your brain when something is completely wrong and you need to take action. But the thing is, with anxiety and, panic and depression and all that, there's stuff that is wrong, but it's more of a mental thing. You get physical sensations, don't get me wrong, but it is a lot of mental in there. And so it's a surprise emotion, a memory that our body holds, one that may feel like it comes out of nowhere, which is very true. Because for me, for example, so 2 weekends ago, I was having dinner with one of my friends. We were outside, everything was fine. I had a drink and I was good, fine. I'm trying not to overdo it. Drinking, drugs, sugar, people's energies, those are a lot of triggers that can trigger your anxiety, depending on what it is. But for me, I was drinking, not anything crazy, a little strawberry margarita that I made. And out of nowhere, like 2 hours later, I had the worst panic attack. I was sitting watching TV upstairs with my friend, and all of a sudden I got this super hot rush through my body, and my mind just snapped. And I got into that mode, that state of mind, like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna pass out. Oh my God, this is it. Like, freaking out that there was something wrong with me. My hands were shaking crazily. I was kind of lightheaded. I needed water. I was trying to calm my breath down because, when you get so anxious and so worked up with your fight or flight, you're not getting enough oxygen to your brain, which is why you get the, oh my gosh, I'm gonna pass out, because you're not breathing. You're just all over the place. Like, have y'all seen that Mr. Krabs meme on Twitter and Facebook where he's like, his eyes are like this? Yeah, that's how I felt. That's what panic attacks and anxiety feels like for me, that's my mind. But thankfully, I was able to use the things that I have learned, and I calmed myself down. It took about an hour and a half to really calm all the way down. I called one of my friends, and so when someone's having an anxiety attack or a panic attack, this is what you do. And this plays into mindfulness, which is the first coping mechanism I'm going to talk with y'all about. So what you do is, if you notice someone is having a panic attack or an anxiety attack, the first thing you do is you observe. So you would observe the emotions, you would observe the feelings. It would go off in your brain, oh, okay, I'm having an anxiety attack. Then the next thing you do after you observe, and you do it non-judgmentally, which means you don't look at yourself and you're like, oh my gosh, why am I so stupid? Why is this happening to me? Why can't I be normal? No, you just sit there and you're like, okay, I'm having an anxiety attack right now. I'm having a panic attack. Let's work through it. The next step is describing. You describe the emotions that you're feeling. So for example, I would say, I'm having an anxiety attack right now and I'm feeling really nervous, really scared because I think that I feel like I'm going to pass out due to drinking too much and not being able to control or thinking that the drinking is harming me. That's an example. So you would observe that, you would describe it, and then you would participate. And participate does not mean like engage in your panic attack and do something about it. It means you participate mindfully and you take a step back. So it's kind of like if I'm standing right here and then I just pull out of my body and I'm watching myself and I'm like, okay, how can I do this? How can I fix it? What are the facts? You notice the facts because the reason you're so worked up is because your emotion mind is running rampant right now. Like it's going crazy. So you want to go over here and you're like, what are the facts? The facts are, I drank alcohol. I was nervous about it, but I still drank it. And I'm at home. I'm safe. Can I move my hands? Can I move my feet? Am I walking? Am I talking? Yes. Most likely you are 100% fine. And it's really hard to get into that state of mind. It was really hard for me to get into that state of mind, to be able to talk to myself and work myself out of it. But I was able to because by acknowledging how I was feeling and what was triggering me, I was kind of coming to terms in that moment, which is what mindfulness is being present and participating in that moment, which is why they say to focus on your breath. Because right now in this moment, I am breathing, I am talking, I am being mindful, but I'm not focusing on being mindful because I'm doing something to keep my mind occupied. But let's say I'm in bed and I'm watching TV and all of a sudden, that hot rush goes through my body and I feel, like something's wrong and I start shaking or, my hands start tremoring and I just start getting really restless, agitated, anxious. Then I would stop. I would stop right there. I would close my eyes and I would just focus on my breathing. I would just sit there or lay down and I put my hands on my stomach and my stomach, I feel how it goes up and down. And by me feeling it go up and down is me knowing, okay, I'm in this moment, I am breathing, I am okay. I take deep breaths. What I also do is, with being mindful, I have a mental image of kind of like a relaxation thing. So what I picture is that I'm in like a really pretty tropical island, Bora Bora, Thailand, Bali, whatever you want, Miami, anywhere you want, Puerto Rico, on a deserted island, anywhere. And I think of myself as being in a really nice little lagoon with some really pretty tropical flowers and trees, and I'm just relaxing in the water, and there's a bubble over me. And that bubble is protecting me from my thoughts, and I know I'm okay. Same thing, you can picture yourself like in a really cool cave, and there's a waterfall outside, and you imagine the waterfall running down as your thoughts, and you're just standing in the cave observing your thoughts, knowing that they are not you. Just because you have a thought, a feeling, you are emotional about something, it is not you. It does not mean anything. It does not even mean that it's true. Thoughts and feelings are just thoughts and feelings. They don't mean anything at all, except for thoughts and feelings. And if you are having an anxious or negative thought, it will come and go. Sometimes when I have negative or anxious thoughts or, just get panicky, I'll think of like a cloud and I put all of what I'm feeling in that cloud and I visualize it passing through my brain and then out of my brain so where it doesn't exist anymore. I'm like, okay, because I'm being mindful, I'm being present, I'm in the present moment. I'm not thinking about the past and I'm not thinking about the future. I'm not thinking about what couldn't be, could have been, couldn't have been. I'm only thinking about right here, right now. So mindfulness, that is key to a lot, is just being present. The way they say, just live in the moment, live in the moment. And, we're on our phones, we're not living in the moment. You literally have to live in the moment, which means exactly what you're doing, pay attention to it. You're being mindful. You are observing what you're doing, you're noticing what you're doing, you're focusing on your breath in and out because it just grounds you. And grounding you is what calms you and keeps you extremely calm because you're not thinking of anything except for focusing on your breath and coming back into the present moment, which is why people close their eyes, to kind of reset your body and to start anew. You reset, you take a step back, that's participating. You take the step back, you don't, act on what you're doing, and then it's easier to figure out your anxious thoughts. It's easier to get yourself out of those moments of panic. And that is something huge that, if you struggle with anxiety, panic attacks, even just anxious moments, little ones, if you don't chronically have it, just being very mindful and not worrying and focusing about anything is something that is extremely, extremely helpful. And that is something that I want to share with you guys. I'm going to post a link to a video about mindfulness if you guys would like to know more. But that is our first coping technique. My first coping technique is being mindful. And it has helped so much because I think about what I'm doing right here, right now. I'm not thinking about being drunk and passing out, or I'm not thinking about what am I going to eat for dinner. I'm thinking about literally right here, right now. And the reason I use, being drunk and passing out is because sometimes when people drink a lot and they're drunk, they get anxious and they get so worked up, they're not feeling good, their body's feeling all types of way, they're like all over the place, and then you work yourself up even more, which is why you have to stay calm and in that moment. So, mindfulness. Said it 30 times, I'm going to say it 50 million times in every video because that is key. Thank you guys for tuning in to episode numero 2. And we'll be back next week with number 3. We are going to talk about meditation and different types of meditations, as well as guided versus just your breathing meditation. So stay tuned. Thank you guys so much. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, feelings, reach out nice things. But I hope y'all have a great week, and I'll see you guys soon.